Hey. Okay, so I think I'm on like blog 6 or something like that. Um, I've been trying to come up with something to talk about. Honestly, that's why I haven't done anything in so long. And again, you'll have to forgive me. I got kind of bored. It's my day off today, and I've been all by myself, so I kind of got bored and I did my makeup. And so I've got like all this stuff going on right now. But um anyway, I figured I look kind of cute. So now would be a good time to do a blog. Because usually I do it like the end of the day after work, and then by that time I feel really gross and like icky, but I do it anyway. But yeah, anyway, so like, excuse me, my hair is still wet and everything. I just got out of the shower, and I understand it's like 5 in the afternoon, but that's what days off are for. So I took advantage of it. Um, Last night I went to ground control. I went with Jeff. It was pretty cool. Although it was kind of lame. um, yeah, I mean, it's it's this I know most people have been there. It's like this. It's like an arcade for adults. You know, you walk. We paid a $5 admission, and it's like a two-story place, and they have a bunch of old school video games. I mean, like I played pinball for a couple hours last night, and they have like uh old school Pac-Man machines and Mario and like all these really old giant like machines that nobody ever has anywhere anymore. So we went there, paid my $5 admission, had a couple of drinks, and played video games. Jeff and I had a good time. I wanted to find some kind of game where I could show him up and prove to him that I'm better at that game than he is, but most of them are one-player games. So I had to kick his ass in my own mind, basically by psyching him out. But I'm not sure if I psyched him out, but I tried. Um, yeah. So we went there, had a couple drinks, played some pinball. A lot of people talked about it, before I went and said it would be really cool and oh my god, I'm so like you're so lucky you're going and it's so awesome. And I was a little bit unimpressed. I mean, it was kind of cool, yeah. But I wasn't like excited about it. I mean, I had fun, but it wasn't like one of those things where I would go out of my way to go back there again. Although it is kind of cool that if it hadn't have been so hot in there, they did have they had a DDR machine, and so I tried to play DDR, but I was it's so loud in there because they have a DJ, and so the music is up so loud I couldn't hear the music for the DDR machine, and so I looked ridiculous. I was like stomping around trying to hit all these notes and nothing happened. So I tried a couple of rounds of that and it didn't really work out, so I stopped. Um, yeah, and then just continued to play pinball. Um, but overall, it was really cool. The bathrooms. Oh my god. Okay, the bathrooms were super cool. Okay, so they're like in the far back corner of the area, and they have, of course, men's and women's. And I went into the women's. Duh. and um, and I went in there, and it's super dark in there. I was not expecting it to be dark. I was expecting it to be like really light in there. Obviously, it's a bathroom. You need to see what you're doing. It's kind of important that you make it into the pot. Um, Although if you sit on it, you're usually good to go. But anywho, um, I go in there and it's super dark, and the ground is like this, like is all tile. It's all tile ground, but it's like a Pac-Man design. It's really cool. It basically looks like you're standing in the middle of a Pac-Man game. There's all the little dots and like the maze and everything you're supposed to go through, and the little monsters. I don't even know what they're called. And then there's a Pac-Man going through it, and it was really cool. And the wall, the whole thing, just the walls, the floor, everything was straight up tile. And the walls, like the tiles were like this big, each one, or maybe like on the floor they were like this big, but on the walls and everything, each tile was maybe about that big or so. And and every few tiles was a mirror. One tile was a mirror instead of a tile, which was cool. But it made it a little difficult, to check and see if like I had anything on my face, or to make sure my hair wasn't like or anything like that. But it was okay, because they did have one section where there's a mirror like this skinny on a post, and so you can kind of get the general idea of what you look like before you walk out, and make sure you don't have any like toilet paper hanging out the back or anything like that. And the sink was light up. It was cool. I mean, like it was blue and green, like, like the sink, it's like rimmed like this, and then like the sink is on the inner part here, and then there's a rim of the sink before you get to the counter, right? Yeah, like where the sink is. The sink is in the cylinder, and there's a rim. The rim lit up, only it was one big sink. It was like elementary school status, where it's like one giant sink with a bunch of faucets coming out of it. And it was one of those, only the entire sink was lined in like light up thing. It was like light up rope or something, but it was like built into it. And it changed color from like blue to green. I think it changed to red and purple, but I wasn't really sure. I was too busy looking at how freaking cool it was. And then they had one of those new, like, the Go Green blow drying things that you stick your hands into, and it goes and your hands are dry. So it was cool. But of course, I only had 2 drinks, but they didn't serve hard A. Like, not at all. I went up there and I was like, okay, this is like a guy place. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to order a martini. I'm not going to order any of that. Because, firstly, I was the girliest person in there. Okay. And not to sound egotistical, but I was the prettiest person in there. Okay. Because this is like Nerdville, USA. Oh my God. Like, all the guys were super nerdy. And, like, the girls that were with the guys or the girls that were on their own were either like emo or like, you know, whatever you want to call it. Super nerdy. Like, the girls that you would expect to play video games. And so I walk in there, and I mean, I had like a hoodie on, actually similar to this. It was blue though, and I mean, I did my makeup and everything, and because I was going out, so I made myself look like I was going out. I had like my cowboy boots on, the ones Yolanda, if you're watching, you know which ones I'm talking about. They're purple, and they have like a 3-inch stacked heel, and they're really cute. And I mean, I wore that, so I didn't look like dressed up, but I definitely looked put together. And I walk in, and there's guys in there in like sweatpants and hoodies, and they're banging on these machines, and I'm just like, oh my God, it was insane. But yeah, it was kind of nuts. I was a little uncomfortable because I was totally out of my element, you know? I don't really play those games. So, I mean, I played some pinball and I had some fun with it, but it was a little weird. And, oh, my point was they don't serve hard A. So I would have happily gone up there, you know, being a girl that I am, I would have gone up there and ordered a martini or a margarita or a daiquiri or something, you know, fruity and girly and something you would expect a girl to have. No. So they didn't have any hard A, but because I didn't see any behind the counter, but I figured maybe they had some somewhere. I don't know. I wasn't sure. So I was like, okay, I'll beef it up a little bit so I'm not a complete girl. And I was like, okay, I'll have a rum and Coke. Because I figured it's such a basic thing that if they have hard A, they'll have rum and they'll have Coke. It's so basic. So I ordered a rum and Coke, and he looks at me and he goes, we don't have hard A here. And I go, whoa. And I was like, okay. And he goes, we have beer, we have wine, we have Mike's Hard Lemonade, we have blah, 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 and like ordered all this stuff. And I'm sitting there going, okay, wine. I don't like wine. It's old food, grapes. That was a previous blog. I don't do wine. And I don't do beer. It tastes like feet. Again, that was a previous blog that I had talked about that. And then I was like, okay, well, Mike's Hard. The last time I had a Mike's Hard, I had 2 of those, you know, like the tall boys where it's like a 16-ounce. It's like this big. And it's like a can. And it's like huge. And I had 2 of those last time I had it. And of course, it was stupid. And I had 2 of those. They're like 8% alcohol, all sugar. And like I did it on an empty stomach. And last time I had that, I drank a full one. And I was definitely feeling it. But I wasn't really too concerned. I was at home. So, and I was with Alex at the time. This was, I think, before we started dating. I'm not sure. Anyway, and I had a full one of those, and we're just sitting there watching a movie, and definitely after one, I could feel it. But I was like, whatever, I'm at home. I don't have to do anything tomorrow. Whatever. So I cracked open the second one, and halfway through the second one, I was drunk. Drunk. But I'm sitting there going, okay. Drunkenly, I'm like talking to him. I'm going, I'm totally drunk right now. But I have a half a can. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. And I'm at home, so I don't have to drive anywhere. I could just crawl into the next room and pass out. So I'm going to finish my drink because I'm not going to be wasteful. So I did. I finished my drink. And needless to say, I was pretty miserable. About 20 minutes later, I was throwing up. I threw up 4 times. The last one was dry heaving, and I passed out with my face like in the toilet like a good 3 or 4 times. Needless to say, I don't drink Mike's Hard anymore. That stuff now just scares me. The taste of it reminds me of vomit, so I don't do that. So, anywho, so they had beer, wine, Mike's Hard, and then I just kind of sat there and stared at him going, okay, well, what do I do? You know, I'm not going to come in here and not order a drink. What am I going to do? And he goes, oh yeah, and we have hard cider. I was like, boom, score, hard cider it is. So I had a couple of those. It was good to, you know, get a little bit, maybe a little bit buzzing, you know, and play some games. It was good. Yeah, and then we went to Taco Bell on the way home, and I ordered a burrito, lots of cheese. I love cheese. Yeah, that was about it. Anyway, Ground Control, overall, it was good. I had fun. But I was unimpressed. It's not someplace I'm going to go out of my way to go to again. But yeah. Okay. So, it's officially exactly 5 o'clock now. So, I think I'm going to figure out a way to make myself productive, because I have to wake up at 8 to go to work tomorrow. So I feel like, I don't know, the past couple days I haven't really done anything. So I want to do something today. Even though there's not much time left. So I'm going to figure something out, and I'm going to go do something. And I guess I will make another blog when I'm able to either have something interesting to talk about or come up with a decent topic. So, till next time!